What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the uncrowned Otaku. And I'm still trying to recover my voice because I started losing it when I went to a concert yesterday. It was a wild weekend. But I just finished Divorce Attorney Shin, and I gotta talk about it. Now, as y'all know, I'm terrible with names. So a lot of the people in the story, I'm not gonna know their names. I'm gonna just kind of tell you their position. I'm trying to get better with remembering names, but unless I've been like watching for a year plus, bro, it's like I'm not, besides the main character, I'm not too locked in on the side characters. But we got Divorce Attorney Shin, who was a pianist. Then his sister died, and custody of the child got sent to the other parent. So he decided to become a divorce attorney because he smelled a little foul play. Now in the real world, I don't know how that would ever work. You're a famous pianist overseas, and like this dude at the time, I assume. Well, then again, I guess like 11 years probably passed. So I guess that's enough time to go to law school, get a law degree, become an attorney. But yeah, so he's doing that. He's winning cases he has no business winning. And one of the biggest cases, and this is kind of why I rated it how I did. If you saw the TikTok, you already know what it is. I'm gonna tell you in a second. What's the person's name? Lee Seo-jin. I forgot her name. I'm gonna just call her Seo-jin. She had an affair, and the person she had an affair with secretly taped her and spread all over the internet. So the husband, who was a foul dude, he was just foul. He was always bugging her, thought she was cheating, super emotionally abusive. And in a scene in there, we saw a little bit of physical abuse as well. So he showed that video to their child, scarred that kid for life. But you would think a mother who had an affair versus a husband who, in this scenario, not too many people know about the emotional and physical abuse. So in this scenario, the mother who has an affair that everybody knows about versus the dad who is seemingly a good husband holding down a 9 to 5, you would think the dad's going to get the custody. No, Divorce Attorney Shin did his thing, gave the girl the custody. Now, what I wanted more of was I felt like at the end of that case, I thought, oh no, I don't want her to go away. I wish she'd come back. I wish there could be a little romance developing between them. Little did I know, halfway through the next episode after the case was won, she did come back. She ends up working for him. And they have their moments where you can kind of tell romance could be budding. Like, they're definitely a little more than just friends. Perfect example is when she starts doing like her stream thing, there's a hater in the comments, and Divorce Attorney Shin starts thinking, why is this really bothering me? It's bothering me as if they talked about me. And he goes around asking people, why am I so bothered about that? And in my mind, I'm like, it's because you feeling the girl. So I'm thinking it's about to go somewhere. When I tell y'all this romance goes absolutely nowhere, like, bruh, episode 12, it's a 12 episode joint on Netflix. The romance went nowhere. Matter of fact, he encouraged her to go back to her DJ job. She was a morning radio host. And of course, she lost her job because of the affair scandal and all that stuff. But she started doing online streams, blew back up. Now the radio station's like, hey, come back. We're not going to give you the morning show, but we'll give you the 4 p.m. show. So he, Divorce Attorney Shin, in a very slick way, he's like, man, I wish at 4 p.m. when I got drowsy, I could just hear your voice. It sure would perk me up. Why don't you support me from afar? And pushes her back to doing what she should be doing, DJing, being a radio host, reading people's stories. But that's it. That's all that happens. Their love story ends there. Never tells her, like, both, granted, she did just get divorced, so maybe it's like this ain't the proper time to try to spit game at baby girl. But I would have liked if they would have at least like acknowledged, oh, this is something special, maybe held hands a little bit. It didn't need to be outwardly said, but I needed it to be shown a little bit more. That there's definitely some romance there. So I'm not gonna keep y'all in suspense. I gave this a 7.5 out of 10 in the realm of K-dramas. It's solid. It's not in my top 5, but it's an enjoyable watch. It's a solid watch. Towards the end, it gets a little muddled because he starts doing these divorce cases. He gets a second attorney because it was just him doing it. And after he won Seo-jin's case, they started blowing up. Influx of cases coming in. So they got a second attorney. He started taking on a case. And what really pissed me off is, I mean, maybe I missed it in the post-credits. I'll go back and watch it. But to my knowledge, we don't get to see the end result of the case that the second attorney, Attorney Cho? I think it's Troy. We don't get to see the result of his case because his case was more of a child support case where the mother stole. Now, the mother married into a family that runs a restaurant. She stole the grandmother's recipe, decided to go off, have an affair, got married to the guy she had an affair with, and opened up a chain of restaurants using that grandmother's recipe. Decides not to pay any child support, doesn't even really acknowledge that her child even exists. And when they ask for child support, she says, well, my husband said he didn't want kids. And it's not fair for me to make him support my kid. So this isn't my restaurant. This is my husband's restaurant. I don't have money. He has the money. He doesn't have a kid, so I can't pay you. And they know that if they go to court, the court process is going to take like a couple of years. And by that time, the kid won't need that support anymore. It'll already be too late for the kid. So Attorney Choi decides we're going to protest. We're going to make we're going to put this whole restaurant chain in a negative light. We're going to spin it and ruin your reputation until we do get the money that you owe us. And we're going to prove that you stole this recipe. And he lays that all out on the table for them while they're sitting there. And then it just goes away. We never get the result to that case. And the reason why that's so important to me is that middle schooler was so traumatized. When she heard what Seo Jenna did, she was like, how did you have an affair? And yet you still care so much about your kid when my mom don't give a damn about me. That's not fair. What's so wrong with me that you still love your child, but my mom won't love me? I needed to see that middle schooler. The last scene we see of her is she's closing the door after her grandma is telling the attorney everything that happened. And the middle schooler is listening. She closes her door, and you could tell she heard everything. She kind of just closes it in a little bit of shame. She's in her emotions a little bit. I need to see that middle schooler get like what's deserved for her. We're kind of just, that's left in limbo, and I can only hope for the best in that case. We didn't even finish that. That's why I said the ending got a little muddled. I feel like this needed about 3 more episodes to really flesh out everything that was going to happen. The relationship between Divorce Attorney Shin's paralegal, I forgot his name, but it's also his best friend. The relationship between him and the noodle shop owner, not the grandma, but the grandma's daughter, that, yes, it was budding for a long time, but I remember in one episode they went camping, and then the next episode their boyfriend, girlfriend, we never got an official like, oh, do you want to date? Oh, do you want to date? Oh, okay. And now they're going on a 2-month trip to Europe together. Like, bro, so much got sped through towards the end that episodes 1 through 4 for me, immaculate, amazing. I love the show. Then it starts to get a little basic, then it starts to get a little muddled, and then it gets rushed to what I feel like was an improper ending. Now, in the ending, the reason he became a divorce attorney was, again, he wanted to get his nephew back. And he learned, originally, he thinks his nephew's doing good. You know, the family he's with, the dad is rich. The stepmom treats the kid like boo-boo garbage, don't be associated with me, but at the same time doesn't want anybody taking that kid away from her. And she says she has an inferiority complex to the old wife, the ex-wife, who is now dead. And I don't get why, like, you don't want this kid, but you also don't want other people to have this kid. You're not raising him properly. You're sending him off places. You won't even let him play with his half-sister. They called it a stepsister, but I'm like, that's your dad. That's a half-sister. That's not a stepsister. That's a half-sister. A stepsister would be if the chick had the girl. Wait, maybe. Did she have her first? No, no. That's the dad's kid, too. That's his half-sister, not his stepsister. But that might have just been a translation thing with the subtitles, so I'm not really going to hold that against him. But, yeah. He ended up getting custody. He was the first person in the story to ever win. An uncle getting custody of his nephew over the dad, over the parent. First time it was ever done in the show. He did it. And then we see he's waking up the kid like, hey, it's time for school, yada, yada, yada. They're having a good time. Cool. That's all of that. Now, what I have a problem with is the old attorney that kind of did some shady stuff and is the reason why Divorce Attorney Shin's sister didn't get custody of her kid. He was Divorce Attorney Shin's sister's attorney. He knowingly gave medical records showing she's mentally unstable a little bit to the other side, which allowed the dad to get custody, and then he denied that he ever did it. And in return, the stepmom, who's mad evil, she gave him a cafe, but at the end we see he's not getting the cafe. We don't know why. Like, the dad comes and testifies, admits that everything the attorney said up there was a lie. He did do X, Y, and Z. But we don't get that conversation between the evil stepmom and the evil attorney kind of breaking down like, oh, you're not getting this because now it's known what's happened. We're all going down. We don't get that conversation. We see he's trying to call her. She's not picking up. And he says he wants his cafe and then just breaks down in the middle of the road. The stepmother with the kid's dad, she's trying to talk to the dad. Like, isn't it time we started talking to each other? And he's just saying like, nope, we're going to have to live with our sins and we should live quietly. As the parents of the one child we still have, let's raise her, but let's do it quietly. He doesn't want any parts to do with her because he found out that the stepmom made the call to Divorce Attorney Shin's sister and was like, Listen, this is my husband now. This is my family now. I put my mind to it and I kicked you out. I made him get a divorce, so now you're alone. And if I put my mind to it, I'm gonna kick your son out. Could you imagine what that's gonna feel like? And that traumatized divorce attorney Shin's sister so much that she was all broken down, shaken up, thinking like, "Oh no, I just want custody of my son." And now you're threatening to kick him out on the streets. So she walks into the middle of a rainy road and gets hit by truck who, and I mean, splattered, blood on the shoes. We don't even see the body. Like, she got isekai for all we know. And we know that she did it because the grandma heard the phone call. And then we know that the attorneys, he lied on the stage. He lied on stand, which is, you can't falsify your claims up there. That's illegal. And nothing's happening to the evil stepmom. We know that she made that call. I guess she was right. Technically, that's not illegal. She made the call. She said those things. She did say she wished that she would either go away or just die, but it's not like she made the driver hit her. I wish something more would have happened to the stepmom. Maybe like acknowledgement of collusion between the plaintiff's attorney and working with their side at the same time. I feel like that's low-key illegal. So I wish something would have happened to her there. But at the end, she's still living in her posh mansion. And the only thing different is the husband wants nothing to do with her. That's really it. So I'm like, bro, there's so many like loose ends. There's so much more story you could have fleshed out. 7.5 out of 10. I still encourage y'all, go watch it. It's the beginning half, amazing. Tapers off towards the end, but overall, it's still an enjoyable watch. Divorce Attorney Shin over on Netflix. Y'all would think I'm doing an ad for Netflix or something, but no, I really like K-dramas. I love watching them. If y'all got some good K-dramas, drop them in the comment section. Let me know what I should be checking out. I've already watched things like Running Start, Startup, First Love, the Crash Landing on You, Divorce Attorney Shin, The Glory. What else have I watched? Something Friendship, Grateful Friends, or is it Graceful Friends? Something like. Anyway, it's a long laundry list. But if y'all got something I should check out, I would love to know so I can start watching something. Comment down below. Uncrowned Kingdom. I've been your boy, the Uncrowned Otaku. That's the fire that keeps the kingdom burning safely. Ayo, Netflix, if y'all want to drop a bag on your boy, feel free. I'll do some shameless plugs for y'all too. In the meantime, in between time, Uncrowned Kingdom, I'm out. Peace.